All right, welcome back. So we ended where the we're about to create a user called Cleopatra, and we are supposed to encrypt that user home directory. So to be able to do that, first we are going to create the user. So we'll go ahead to create the user Cleopatra. I'm going to enter root password. Now we're going to enter Cleopatra's password. We enter again. So I'm going to give it a name. I will maintain the name Cleopatra. Give it a room number 3. Give a phone number for the user. Another phone number. Go ahead to enter. So now our user has been created successfully and the information has been entered. So now all we're going to do is we're going to go ahead to encrypt the home directory of our user that was created. So we use the command sudo encrypt migrate home user Cleopatra. So when we click enter, enter the root password. So as you can see, all the users all the files in the home directory of Cleopatra has been encrypted using the package we installed earlier. So what we are going to do now is we are going to use the command list/l. So as you can see, we have the user Cleopatra, and you see the user has been created, and these are the privileges the user can read, write, and the user can be able to execute. So what we are going to do is we are simply going to log in into the Cleopatra's account. So I'll clear my screen. I'll use our command su slash the name of the user. I'll enter our password. So now I'm logged into the Cleopatra's account. So if I if I use the command encrypt, if I use the command encrypt TFS unwrap passphrase, as you can see, we get the encrypted value as shown above. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to exit. So I'll log out of our account. So now as you can see, everything is working perfectly. The Cleopatra's account has been encrypted. So this is a very good security measure that is you can set in your company to be able to protect resources, valuable resources for in different users' accounts, as you as the pseudo user or the administrator of your system. So our next laboratory practical, we are going to be concentrating on. So for our next laboratory practical, we are going to be we will need some requirements like Ubuntu, Lipan, um PW quality package. So these are some of the packages that we are going to need in this our next laboratory to be able to perform the next task that is going to be given to us. So we'll just go ahead to install our first package. So we're going to be installing the Lipan password quality. So the function of this package is it helps to test the quality of passwords in which the user uses in the system. That is when the user is required to enter the password. When the user uses a weak password, this this package or this resource takes the password and goes through some certain level of tests, and then it informs the user of the risks required in the password the user is going to be using, and encourages the user to use a better password. So I will go ahead to install this package. So while the package is being installed, we should be talking about what we are going to be doing with the package. So after the package has been installed, we are going to be opening the configuration settings of this package and perform some certain configurations of how we want our users password to be able to look like. So while the application is installing, we should take a break. Alright, now the package has been installed completely. So I'm going to clear my screen. So our first task is we are going to be opening the configuration settings of this package, the password quality package, where we are going to do some configurations. So to open the file, we are going to use the command nano, then the directory of the file, which is security slash pwquality.config. So now we are in. I'll simply exit because I don't have the root privileges. So I'll use the command sudo nano to be able to give me root privileges. So now I'm going to enter the root password, and now we are in. So this is the configuration file that are going to be performing some configurations. So now after opening this file, we are going to remove the comments symbol from the front of the main line and change the value to 19. That is, it should look like, okay, as you see for the main lines. So here we get minimum length. Our minimum length, we're going to move the comment to enable the 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 configuration to be active. So based on our lab, we are going to be setting the minimum length of the user password to 19. Then for Dcredit, as you see the explanation here, the maximum credit for having digits in a new password. So we can go ahead to disable that. We can go down. You can see the maximum credit of lowercase. So we can set the minimum lowercase. So we can set the minimum lowercase. We can set the minimum uppercase for our password. The minimum uppercase for our password. The You can set the maximum here, as you see here, having other characteristics, new password if less than 0, minimum number of other characteristics. So here we talk about the different characters, that is like you can have a full stop, semicolon, colon and stops. The minimum class, that is minimum uppercase and lowercase class. So these are the different configurations. So for this, I'm just going to work with the minimum length of the user's password, which should be 19. So that's all I'm going to be doing for now. But in your own company, you can be able to configure it based on your requirements. So I'll simply go ahead and save my work, and then I'm going to exit. So after that, I'm going to create a user account, and I'll call the user Goldie. So Goldie is going to be our new user, and I'm going to attempt to sign in the user using a password. So to do that, I'm going to first of all start by creating a user, the user Goldie. So as we have been doing earlier. Simply use the command sudo user add, then the name of our user, Gordy. So first of all, I'll simply enter the root password. Then I will now give the user a password. So I'll use the command sudo password Gordy. So now if I try entering a password like 1234 and I press enter, you see the password is going to be rejected. No, I need to enter the root password. So now for the new password, if I try entering the password 1234 5 and I press enter, you can see here you get the message bad password. It say your password is shorter than 19 characters, and this was exactly what we did in our configuration. So now to we are going to be able to, so now this is a security measure that you have set in place for your users in your system, able to push them to enter strong passwords. So if you enter another password like enter another password like 12345678 9 ABCD, I will press enter. Go ahead, enter another password again. Enter 12345678 9 ABCDEFGHIIJKLM. Press enter. You get the image bad password failed directory, too much simplicity. So as you can see, we're using simple passwords like 1234. So it checks all of this, goes through all of this information, and is able to give you a perfect way to handle your passwords. So as you see, this security measure that we have set works perfectly. So I'll simply ah okay. So I'm going to simply open a new terminal, and we are going to move to the next lab. So for our next lab, we are going to be performing a hands-on lab. That is, we are going to be setting an account and password expiry data. So this is a very good practical demonstration for security measures in your company or in companies all around the world. So our first objective is we are going to be creating a user for Samsung with expiry date, that is the 30th of June 2025, and view the results. So this is very important. So to do that, we're going to create the users. We're going to create the user. So to create the user, we're going to be using the command sudo add user dash e. Then we are going to be setting the expiry date for this user. So what this does is you are simply creating a user's account and setting a date in such a way that that user, after that period, the user will not have access to that account anymore. So presently I'm going to be doing some editing Why? Because we're in 2026. So I'm simply going to change the date to 2026. So as you can see, we have set an expiry date. So now when the user is being created, the user will be able to use his account just from the day the account was created to the expiring date. And after the expiring date, the user will not be able to have access to that account anymore. So I'm simply going to press enter, I enter my good password, and now the user has been created. So I'll go ahead to use the command. I'll go ahead to use the command sudo church/s, then the name of the user, which is Samsung. Enter my root password. So as you can see, you get all the information. That is the last password, the expiry. You get all the information about that user. So as you can see, everything has been set up well. So this is very important for, especially for contract workers in your company that will work only for a certain period of time. You can set expiry dates for their account such that when their contract has been expired, the users the user should be able to access just the resources that has been the user should not be able to access their account anymore since their contract with your company has been expired. So this is a very good measure that is very, very important in your company. So for further configurations, I can simply go ahead to add the user's password. So I'm going to enter the good password to a good user, um, enter a password. So now as you see, the based on the first configurations, our password has to be 19 digits. Our password has to be 19 digits. So I'm simply going to, enter a password. All right, do it again. Enter another password again. Okay, now you see I've entered a very strong password for the user Samsung with 19 digits, and now the user password has been created successfully. So I'll go ahead to clear my screen, and now everything works well. So now we are going to be using the charge to set a 5-day waiting period for changing passwords. So now that we have created a password, we're going to use this charge command to create a to this thing a five to enable a 5-day waiting period for password changing and expiring, and the password will be expiring for the period of 90 days, and an inactivity, that is an inactivity period of 2 days. So these are some of the configurations we are going to be making on the password for the user password for the user Samsung. So we use the command sudo charge -m5 for the period of 90 days. So use -m for 90, and they also said inactivity. Inactivity should be 2 days. So the password is going to be inactive for 2 days using the command -i. Then and we are going to be having a warning period 5 for 5 days. So use the command -w 5 days, that is 5. So this is the configuration we are going to be making for the password So this is very important for you to know all of these configurations as a cybersecurity engineer, to be able to know how to configure the security measures of your company. So I'm simply going to enter my root password, and now everything works well. So for me to verify if everything is good, I'll simply use the command sudo charge-l to list all information concerning the Samsung. So I'll enter my password, Kali, and enter the password again. Okay, I'm going to enter the password. All right, now you see everything works perfectly. You can see our last password change, password inactive. That is, they have given a date that is 5 days from the day that it was set. Account expiration, as we set it earlier, minimum number of days between password change, 5 as we said. The maximum number of days between password change, 90 as we said, and the number of warning. So these are configurations that are going to be you are going to set for the user account. So immediately all of these rules have been met, or all of these security rules are met, the system automatically takes measures on their account. So this is very important for you to set up your system, your users system, so that they'll be able to access or to perform required tasks on required period of time. So that works perfectly. So as you see, everything is working well. I'll simply go ahead and I'll exit. Okay, let me just open a new terminal. All right. So for our next task, we are going to, as said in the lab, we are going to use the PWN password API in order to check the user's password. So to be able to use this, we are going to use the call command to see how passwords there are with the 21 BD string in their password hashes. So I'm going to we're going to be using the call command to access the API of the PWM password. So as you see, we're using the call command and we are going to access the API. So here is the API that has been set. So when I click enter, give it some time for it to connect to the PWN server. And now we are seeing everything is working well. Get an encrypted information. So as you can see, here's an encrypted information showing you all the information, the password quality and other information that is required. So as you can see, everything is working. So now we are going to go ahead to the home directory and of our virtual machine, and we are going to paste the SSH script that has been created. That is this is the script above. We're going to paste it there, and we're going to continue writing some commands. So I'll simply copy this SSH script. As you see here, as you can see, you cannot understand because it's encrypted by the server, so it's a security measure. So I'll simply copy. Okay, so I'll copy this, and now I'm going to move to the home directory of my machine. I'm going to create a file, an SSH file, and I'm going to paste this script there. So what I'll do is I'm going to close the terminal. Here is the home directory of my machine. I'm simply going to create a empty file, SSH file. So I'm going to create an SSH file, and I'll give the file name pwn passwords .sh. pwn password.sh. Alright, and now when I open the file, I'm going to paste. Yeah, so now I pasted the command there. I'll save the file and I'll close. So now the encrypted file, the encrypted data that was collected from the API has been pasted in that directory. So as the next is I'm going to execute, and that is I'm going to add an executable permission to that script. Here is the script as you see. So I'm going to add an executable permission so that the script can be executed correctly. So to be able to do that, I'll simply go back to my terminal. Or I can open a new terminal on the home directory. So you see it just redirects me directly to the home directory. So I'll use the command change mode execute permission for the file password.ss. I'll simply remove this s because it's not assigned. So this is the name of the file pwn password. I'll remove. Alright, so now this is the name of the file. So now I've granted execution permissions to this file. So now the file works well. So to run the script, I'll simply open or simply type the command I'll simply run the script. Voila. So now you see the system recognizes it. So I'll simply run the script using the dockylib. So if I click enter, as you can see, everything is working well. So now everything works great. If I close this, you can see, yeah, everything works well. So now we move to our next lab. So for our next lab, we are required to open the etc.pam.login file, and we are going to edit it. So we are going to edit this file to look for the line that will look for the line that evokes the PAM security model. That should, I think we should take a break.